Hi everyone, it's Brad again and welcome to week number 6 of MUS 223. This video is going to be quite a bit shorter than last week's overview video. So let's go ahead and get into Module 6. We're looking at 20th century music this week, and we're going to continue with the study of the different isms that we began last week. Impressionism, Expressionism, Serialism, 12-tone music is also introduced in the early mid-20th century, in atonal music, or music without a tonal center. All of these movements start to become prominent, very prominent in 20th century music, especially around and after the First World War. Here's your learning objectives for week 6. I won't read those. You can take time to look over those. Here's your readings and resources for the week. Let's take a quick look at our module overview for week number 6. You can see some commentary here on what happened in music prior to 1900 and some information on Impressionism. We see Gustav Mahler's name mentioned here, Ravel, Debussy. One of his most well-known pieces is an impressionistic work called Afternoon of a Faun, which you may have heard outside this course, but you'll have a chance to listen to it during this week as part of your listening. Expressionism takes hold in Germany. We see Impressionism was strong in France. Schoenberg is a composer that is a person who introduces 12-tone music, or it's a scale that, or a style of music that uses all 12 tones of a chromatic scale in a certain mathematical pattern. It can get very complicated. We won't go into all the details of that, but you can hear the difference when you listen to 12-tone music as opposed to a piece of music by Beethoven or Franz Liszt or Frederick Chopin or one of those composers from the classical romantic periods, just because of the way the notes are used in 12-tone music. And so Schoenberg is someone whose music you'll have a chance to listen to during this week as well, and listen for the differences there between 12-tone music, expressionism, and the music that was taking place up to this point. World War II was a huge influence on what happened in music, not only in America but around the world. Some of the composers you'll want to listen to this week and pay close attention to are Charles Ives, an American composer, Aaron Copland, another American composer. Copland was the first American composer of orchestral music to introduce elements of jazz and folk music into his works. He may not have been the first to do folk music, but he was among the first to introduce jazz rhythms, jazz sounds, along with George Gershwin. And Igor Stravinsky is another important composer during this time. The Riot of Spring, which you'll learn a little bit about this week, was a work that really changed the face of what orchestral music looked like and sounded like at that time. It was part of a ballet, but the musical score itself was very avant-garde and forward-thinking. And the Firebird Suite, which is just a wonderful piece of music that you'll have a chance to listen to this week. And then we get to this composer named John Cage. And let's go back here and look at our assignment for this week, our discussion board assignment, which relates to John Cage. So you're going to watch this video, 4 minutes and 33 seconds for piano, written in 1952. And then you see some information here about the different isms. But there's one composer who challenged us on our concept of what music really is. So during this time, people were asking the question, what is music? And Cage, in this piece, 4 minutes and 33 seconds, is a direct question that is seeking that answer. So after you watch this video, you're going to comment on whether or not you think this is music. And then you're going to choose a composer from this module, find a composition by that composer, and describe the characteristics that place it in its specific style, and talk about the musical elements and how the musical elements in the 20th century are different from earlier time periods. So you're going to watch the John Cage video, tell us why or why not you think it's music. Do that in one paragraph. Choose a composer from the module, find a composition, and describe by using characteristics of the music and musical elements how you can place it in a particular time period. So for instance, if you listen to a Beethoven symphony, how do you listen to that music and place it in the classical music period? There are clues in the music that will lead you to place it in that period. And then talk about the difference between that music and 20th century music. Do composers still use musical elements in the same way, or have they succeeded in creating new uses for them? And so that's going to be your discussion board assignment for this week. Make sure you cover all those elements, and make sure you include a reference in your discussion board post. And then you have a Module 6 quiz this week as well. And that covers week number 6. There's a lot happening here in this unit, or this module, with 20th century music. Lots of different things going on. But we've covered in this video the things that you'll want to focus in on for this week and make sure you cover. If you have any questions for me, you know how to contact me through email, by text, on the discussion board, and I'm always here willing and able to answer questions and give you advice on anything you need help with. I'm so happy that you're hanging in there with us. We're in week 6. Just a couple of weeks and we'll be in the last week of the course. We've covered a lot of ground. All of you are doing really great work. Just stick with us for a couple more weeks. Make sure you follow the guidelines for your assignments very closely. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.